Creating your slab sugar skulls. In this video, we're gonna go over cutting your clay, rolling it out, and cutting out your slab template for your skull design. I'm gonna start by opening my clay bag and cutting off a piece of clay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some dental floss to use for my cutter. Pull it tight between my fingers, and I'm gonna cut a chunk of clay off. So I'm gonna take this clay, kind of mush it into a ball, and close up my clay bag, squeezing out the extra air as always. I'll move it aside. I'm working on just a piece of cardboard. It's actually the back of a calendar. So I'm going to start by just using my palm to flatten out my clay. I'm gonna lift it and do the same on the other side. I can use my palm, the whole surface of my palm, as flat as I can to spread the clay out fairly well. By using kind of even flat pressure, I can really spread the clay pretty evenly across. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and grab my tiny roller and just begin to roll my clay out. I'm looking for my clay to be between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch thick. I would say closer to a 1/4 is ideal. So after rolling for a little bit, I'm going to pick it up and flip it because it tends to stick. And just going to apply even pressure. We want to make sure that the middle or the ends are not thicker or thinner. We want it to be even across, so I'll roll in both directions to make sure it is nice and even. So if you ever want to check the thickness of your slab, you can easily grab your needle tool and give it a little cut on the side, and you can check how thick it is. So this is looking pretty good. I could definitely roll it a tiny bit more, but I'm really close. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll until it's a little bit thinner. Again, occasionally picking it up to make sure it does not stick to the surface that we are working on. So I think this is going to be just right. Smooth it out a tiny bit. I can now at this point use my rib tool to also smooth out the surface before I cut my skull shape. I'm going to take my template and I'm going to lay it on and use my needle tool to cut all the way around. I'm going to do my best to cut straight down, moving throughout the clay. To get the template, you can either print it if you are able, or you can simply trace it on a sheet of paper from your iPad if you have your sketch open in Adobe Draw. It should be 5 inches in height. Okay, so once that's cut, I can go ahead and cut an exit, so out from the side, so I can carefully pull up that extra clay. Now I'm gonna hold on to this because I'm going to use it in a couple minutes to create my details for my sugar skull design. So I'm gonna peel off my template, and I'm gonna gently use my fingers to smooth the edges. At this point, it's pretty sticky, so I'm actually going to let it sit for just a few moments so that it settles and firms up just a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm going to transfer my design and start adding my details.